Hey guys, it is Swag Unicorn. Back again with a new video, and for my last video, which was my university acceptance reactions video, I got a lot of people asking me to do my grade 11 and 12 marks from high school. So this is a video all about that. I'm going to be talking about my grades for my grade 11 12 year. I'm going to be talking about the extra curricular activities I did in high school, and then at the end I'll just give you guys advice and tips because I think that's super important. So let's get started. Okay, so before I even start with talking about my grades, I just want to talk about the university application process. So you can either apply through a college or university, and there are going to be special websites for those, and this is targeting towards Canadians because I don't really know anything about like American education, like how you guys do your university processes. But for Canada, it's basically all your marks are from your school guidance counselor, and they submit it to the university, and that's literally all they do. And what you need to do is just make an account on the university website and then apply to any university or college you want, and then your marks just get sent there. So you don't really need to do anything besides like just picking where you want to go. So that's how you do that. And the decision process, like time period, is you can apply from October to January, and early acceptances usually come maybe October the earliest. I've heard people get accepted in October, November. I got accepted for my early acceptances in December, and yeah. And then the actual time period where you'll be getting your acceptances is through March to May. May and April is where you'll be getting most of your acceptances because that's where a lot of universities send them out. So that's how the whole university process works. I'm not gonna get into too much detail, but that's just an overview of it. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about my grade 11 marks because that's first. Before I even started, this was my worst year of high school in terms of grades. I didn't do like the best, I didn't do well, and I'm not so proud of these marks just because this was my hardest year of high school. And if you ask anyone, they would say that their grade 11 year was the hardest, and because of that, it's because of the really big jump from grade 10 to grade 11 in terms of what you're learning, the course material, all that stuff. It's just so much that's like a big gap, and you kind of just like, it's a lot. I don't want to scare you, but that's kind of the truth. If you ask anyone, grade 11 was the hardest year of high school. So that's where I go uphill and then downhill. But quickly I went back up for grade 12, but we'll get into that later. Okay, so for grade 11, your marks do matter in terms of early acceptances. So for example, if you want to get an early acceptance, again, you don't need to do anything. Your guidance counselor do everything for you. You're just the one receiving acceptances. So for example, if you do super well in your grade 11 year, you may get early acceptances. You know, that's awesome. But if you don't do the best in terms of, you know, I didn't do the best, you can always do better for your grade 12 year, and then you could get acceptances from March to May. So yeah, try your best for your grade 11 and 12 year, but again, if you don't do good in your grade 11 year, you can always have grade 12. So for grade 11, I have English, I got a 91. Religion, I got an 88. Media arts, I got a 96. Dynamics of human relationship, I got a 90. Introduction to anthro, psych, and soc, I got a 90. Advanced functions, oh my gosh, I don't like this class. I didn't do well, but I got a 73. Biology, I got an 80. Chemistry, 75, and then hospitality, a 94. So again, these marks are so diverse. You could see I'm going from like high 90s to like 80s, and then there's like a 70 there. It's just a lot. I'm telling you, my grade 11 year was not my best, but yeah, I'm telling you, advanced functions, bio and chem for grade 11 is just really different from your grade 10. So again, it's that really big gap that can kind of get you. That's what happened to me. So these are the marks that are sent to universities or colleges in March, and that's the usual time for your actual acceptances. So for religion, I got an 86. Chemistry, I got an 85. Media arts, I got a 98. English, I got a 96. Challenge and change, I got a 97. Data management, I got an 81. And biology, I got an 82. So if you were to calculate that, I would have an 89.2 average. I really hoped I had a 90, but that's okay. So in terms of the courses I took it based on what my program needs. So as you can tell, for nursing, you only need a math, bio and chem, and English. So you only need 4 prerequisites, and the 2 can be any other courses that you took. So for the unis, they took my math, chem, bio, and English, and then they could take any of my other electives, which I have like really good marks in, so that can determine how I got in. But when picking out your courses, make sure you pick properly with what you're taking in terms of the program you want to get accepted into. Because for nursing in grade 11, I took advanced functions, but in grade 12, I took data management. That was the worst decision I've ever made. Actually, yeah, worst decision. Because nursing, they only need 1 of the 3 maths. They can either, you can do calc, advanced functions, or data. I should have took data in grade 11, but gladly in grade 12 I took data, which I did get a good mark in, because as you can tell in advanced functions, I didn't do so well. Just a quick note, some universities do not allow high school courses to be under 70%. I know Western lets you have 65 and over, but most universities, they want 70 and over, so make sure your marks are above 70 so you can like get in for sure. Okay, so for my extracurriculars in Canada, they don't really care about what you do in terms of like volunteer work, extracurriculars, all that stuff. It may be helpful in like applying for other majors, maybe business, you'll have like an essay to write. For essays, interviews, those things will be helpful, but if you want to do something into like nursing, they don't really care about the extracurriculars you do. Again, it's just different from programs, so I mean, I can't be the one to say like, oh, they don't care about it. I'm just saying like, not usually they would look at what you did, but again, like if you're applying for universities and they require an essay or they require interviews, you would need to talk about maybe your experiences, what you learned, all that stuff. But for me, I wasn't really involved in high school. I was in Eco Club, chaplaincy, and I was a yearbook editor. Honestly, they have nothing to do with the major I'm going into, but they really helped me with working with others, because I think it's so important to have an experience of working with people, because if you don't have any of that, then how will you do well in your job? But for extracurriculars, again, for nursing, they didn't really care about what I did because we only had to do the Casper test, and not every university requires the Casper test. Basically, the Casper test is I think an hour and 30-minute test, and people, you have a proctor watching you, and it's just 15 scenario questions, and then I think there's like 3 videos, and you have to answer each of them in 5 minutes, and it's just to test your moral and decision-making skills, like how do you respond to situations and all that stuff. So yeah, the only bad part is you don't know how you do, so like there's no score, there's no ranking of how you did. So I guess you can only find out if you got into the nursing schools. So if you got into your nursing schools, you probably did well, but if you didn't, then you probably didn't do well. But yeah, that's how it's going for nursing in terms of extracurriculars. They don't ask anything. But again, if you're doing different majors and you need essays and interviews, you can talk about your extracurriculars. He feels at home in this piece, but strangely he feels at home in this. First advice I have for you guys is grade 11 and 12 are your most important years of high school in terms of grades. So if you're asking, oh, do grade 9 and 10 marks count? They absolutely do not. They do not send them to the universities, so don't think like, oh, I need to, like, oh my god, like this F is gonna ruin my chances of getting into uni. Like, it's not. It's really not. Like, if you get 160 or 150 in your grade 9 10 year, that's not going to affect your chances of getting into uni. But if that happens in your grade 11 and 12 year, that might affect it. So again, just always try in high school, but I'm telling you, grade 9 and 10 marks don't count. They're not going to your university or college. So try your best in your grade 11 and 12 year, because those are your important years. That's determining where you're going to go in your future. So do well. So my tip number 2 is, if you don't do best in your grade 11 year, try your hardest in your grade 12 year. So again, with my marks, I didn't do the best in my grade 11 year, as you could tell, but in grade 12, it just went up my grades. I did really well, and that's what got me into university, because of my grade 12 marks. So don't be discouraged if you didn't do the best in grade 11, because grade 12 is gonna help you a little bit more, because it's helping you with your acceptances. Because with grade 11 marks, it's just early acceptances. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, submit your grade 12 marks, you'll get your acceptances, you're good. So advice number 3, take easy electives that are mark boosters. So for example, the arts, social sciences, hospitality. as you could tell, Intro to Anthro Psych and Soc, those are really good courses. Dynamics of Human Relations, those are really good mark boosters. Hospitality is an amazing mark booster because you're basically cooking, you can eat, and you can get a 90. I don't understand. It's good course. And any like technology classes, so for example, like I did media arts, it's like a graphic design class, it's like I'm good at it, so again, that's how I did well. But always take easy electives because you need those mark boosters. So like if you're getting a 75 in one course and you get like a 95 in this elective, it's gonna balance it out and it'll help you with your average. So the next tip I have for you guys is to not worry if your marks aren't the best, because you can always make it up with your additional admission requirements. So this can be like interviews, essays, or your Casper test. So again, if you feel a little bit discouraged because your marks were not, you know, the best, just do really well with your supplementary applications. So again, with your essays, do really well now. Interviews, do really well. Any additional requirements, you need to do well in those, because that can help you get into university or any college you want. Because I remember hearing people like their marks weren't the best, but they did really good on an essay, and that really helped them get into the school they wanted. So just do really well, and I guarantee you, you will get in. And the last tip I have for you guys is to read closely on the requirements of your university, because some programs require different things. So for example, some universities for nursing, they require maybe a 75 and up, but then maybe McMaster requires a 90% and up. So just make sure you read closely with the details and everything, because you don't want to take a course and then find out that you don't need it, you know? Just read closely about the information. And I'm going to put the website here to find out more information about Ontario universities and colleges, all here, this website. So that is basically me exposing my high school stats / grades. I didn't really feel comfortable doing it, but then I was like, I'm helping others, just giving them a viewpoint of where I was in high school, and I think it'll help you guys with your future and where you want to go, hopefully. And yeah, I don't want to stress anyone out when I said that grade 11 was my hardest year, because again, it can vary from different people, but majority it is the hardest year of high school. I just don't want to scare you guys, but I want to prepare you guys. So just remember, try your best all through high school, but mostly in your last 2 years, because those years are gonna count. They're gonna count where you're gonna go, what you're gonna do, all that stuff. So if you have any more questions, don't afraid to comment them down below, and I'll try to answer all of those. But hopefully this video kind of answers everything. But yeah, that's basically it. So I'll see you in my next video, and that's it. Bye!